Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Aisha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Yo, another Wednesday night. Welcome, Habari, my people, for another episode of Habari Live. Let's get it going. Yeah, man. Another crazy week, man, of politics and craziness going on. So we just want to be the person that you go to for updates on news, politics, and everything else that's going on in the world. If you nobody's watching. So if you are liking what you're seeing, or you want to know more about what's going on in the news and everything else, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button, man, for more Habari Live. So Wednesday nights, man, we like to get straight to it. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple things. ICE running over budget, and it's normal stuff, man. Normal stuff when it comes to the Trump administration. They're bad at spending money. They're bad at making sure that money goes to the places that it's supposed to go. We've seen Trump lose several court cases this week already. Today, we saw them strike down the Harvard funds that he tried, billions in Harvard's funds that he tried to keep from going to Harvard. He also lost the case with trying to send Venezuelan gangs using the Alien Enemies Act. That was also struck down. I'm trying to think of the other case this guy lost. We also know that him sending the National Guard to California, that was deemed illegal by the courts. So lost after loss, just steady losing. He doesn't seem to read the laws or anything he's doing. He just goes for it and sees how the law is going to react later. So I don't know if these guys do these things on purpose, hoping that the law doesn't see or they're not going to lose in court. But we see it over and over and over. He's losing in court. Everything he is doing is deemed illegal. His tariffs, illegal. Everything he's doing. The judge, illegal. So, this is what goes on with him. He presses the legal limits of the Constitution, doing what he can to sow confusion and make it so we don't understand. The normal people doesn't understand what's going on. So we like to make sure that we keep everybody updated, man, and we talk about these things, man, because they try to put the blindfold over your eyes nowadays. Everybody's doing everything they can to make sure the country's going in the right direction, but these guys are doing everything they can to screw you. We see the people come together today talking about the Epstein files, all the ladies. It takes guts to come out there, man, and talk about what happened. It doesn't matter how many years it is. Most people want to stay on the low. They don't want the whole country knowing their business and knowing what happened to them. They're coming out trying to get the Trump administration to release the files. The administration is steady fighting back, fighting against it. They do not want to release these files. They Speaker Johnson coming up with excuse after excuse. They just won't release them. So everybody's doing what they can. It was weird to see a couple of Republicans out there, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and a couple other Republicans went out of their box, and Trump, he made sure to let people know that, hey, anybody that signs with this or pushes this is in trouble. The bully in the pulpit, he's going to tell everybody what to do. So tonight, Another federal judge ruled Donald Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles was illegal. Not controversial, but not questionable, just illegal. The judge name is Charles R. Breyer, appointed to the federal bench by President Bill Clinton. He says Trump violated the Posse Comitatus Act. Comitatus Act, my bad. That's the law keeping the U.S. military out of civilian policing. And it's it's sad that Trump keeps pushing the legal limits. All these court cases that you guys see him going to, I just want you to know that this is money that's coming out of taxpayers' pockets. I know that every one of you Trumpers, you think that you're saving money and everything's going good, but all these court cases that they're fighting, best believe that money is that's taxpayer money. In all these cases, man, this guy has going on. Everything is being fought out in court because he wants to just go rogue. Go rogue. That's the way he governs. And we're the ones that pay for it. Trump has already threatened to send forces into other cities. So does this ruling stop him? I don't think so. He doesn't really care about what courts say to him. He thinks he owns the Supreme Court, so he'll just push it to them since he thinks he owns them. Are we heading for another shutdown between blue states and the federal government, as we already seen them go against California?
Yep, you're absolutely right. So, what actually did the judge rule today in court? Like, what was the actual ruling that happened here?
Let's get into it. What the judge ruled. Here are the basics. Over the summer, during protests in Los Angeles against federal immigration raids, the White House ordered thousands of guard troops and even Marines into LA. They weren't just guarding a base, they were out on the streets doing roles that looked a lot like policing. Crowd control, traffic perimeter operations around federal sites.
Mhm.
They were doing a lot of policing.
Mhm. Yep, you're absolutely right. Judge Charles Breyer looked at it and said that this actually crosses the line. But why? The Posse Comitatus Act, 19th century guardrail, says that the military cannot execute domestic law.
Mm.
And if you're going to use troops on U.S. streets to police civilians, there are narrow pathways. The governor can use their own National Guard under state authority, and the president can invoke the Insurrection Act in an actual rebellion or where a local law enforcement just is not able to properly function.
Yeah, it's a thin line, and it's a situation where the governors usually have to ask for this help.
Mhm.
And the judge says LA was not that. There were protests, there was tension, but there was no rebellion. And civil law enforcement was operating well. Translation: you don't get to turn the US military into a national police department because you want a show of force.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Trump is doing. He's
Yep.
just showing his show of force, trying to act like he's the big man on the block.
You're right. And Breyer's opinion is blunt. He calls it systematic violations, not one troop who went too far, but orders an operation that pushed the military into civilian law enforcement. He warns that he warned exactly about that, like what we've been warning about on this show exactly,
Hmm.
normalizing soldiers as street cops.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Trump is trying to do.
Yeah, man. He wants us to be like Israel and how they treat the Palestinians.
Mhm.
Everywhere the Palestinians go, there's military, there's guns, there's troops. You treat us like we're blowing the place up, man. National Guard in law was absolutely legal. No, the no, you're wrong. The corrupt Dems are lying to you. You don't want to safer streets. And look, man, T.W. Morgan, everybody wants safer streets. Using the military is not the way to get there. We all want safer streets, man. If he wanted to make the streets safer, there's a lot of ways to get there by giving funds to the police, investing in affordable housing, after school programs, better schools in the neighborhoods, giving these kids a chance when they get out of school. There's there are plenty of things he could have did except putting the National Guard in place for 29 days. Now all of you people are on the right are yelling, "Yeah, that's going to bring away crime." 29 days it will crime will drop for 29 days. After 29 days, the National Guard will leave. The city will go back to the same way it was. Now, to you, I guess, that's a win for the Republicans. I guess you won 29 days. You won. Yeah, and you are right, Lou Hayes. They did cut funding to the police departments all across the country. They cut funding. These are the people that are hollering they care about policing and all this. But when it comes down to it, what are they doing? Cutting funds, playing games, bringing in the National Guard when they know this is just a temporary fix to the problem. They're not going to keep the National Guard there forever. It's too expensive to keep them there like that. So this is the way they do it. They play games, man. It's games. Now, on an important procedural note, the rules blocks further unauthorized military use in California. It also sets an effective date to give time for appeal. We've seen an appeals court pause early relief in June. The legal fight isn't over, but the core finding is this is illegal.
Yep.
Is now on record.
You're absolutely right. So, why does this matter? Let's talk about the significance. First, the law,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the most important. The Posse Comitatus Act is one of the last lines between a democracy and a security state. It's the difference between police who are trained to protect constitutional rights and soldiers who are trained to defeat an enemy.
Second, federalism states control their National Guard unless federalized for real national emergencies. California governor said no. The White House tried to seize the Guard anyway and use them in policing roles. The judge says that a constitutional and a statutory problem, it redraws the bright line. The president can't just sidestep a governor because they're from the other party.
Yep. And third, you have your precedent. This is the most direct modern rule, smacking down a president's unilateral push to use troops for domestic law enforcement without meeting the Insurrection Act threshold.
Mm-hmm.
It also cites in every courtroom where this fight is gonna pop up next.
Right. So, fourth, the military itself, service members do not want to be political props. Putting troops in policing roles risk civil military retaliation, discipline, and public trust in the armed forces. The judge is basically saying don't break the military by turning it into your campaign security detail. She said, "You said, comitatus." I thought I'd said it wrong. Let's see. It's on you.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, it's where will this stop Trump from other cities? The answer is not automatically, if you really want to know the truth. This ruling binds what happens in California, and even there, it's stayed for a brief period to allow appeal. The administration is already signaling that we're going to Chicago, maybe Baltimore next. But they're daring blue states to sue them again. He's daring blue states to sue him.
Yeah, because like I said, he thinks the he owns the superior court, the Supreme Court. He thinks he owns it. So it's it's tough, man, when this guy thinks he's the king and he controls everything. But here's the new landscape. Any city or state that gets targeted now walks into court with a fresh federal decision saying if there's no rebellion and local policing is functioning, putting troops into law enforcement roles is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
That strengthens requests for temporary restraining orders and preliminary injunctions in other circuits.
Yep. And also potentially this raises the cost for everyone, for everybody. The governor, the mayor, the police chief can point to a judge saying that the LA deployment broke the law. It's putting military commanders on notice also, following illegal orders, and you may end up in court dispositions. This just chills the momentum
Hmm.
that he's got going on right now.
I mean, it's a tough situation, man. When you have a king who thinks a dictator who thinks he can do whatever he wants
Right.
when things pop up and using law and order as the reason why doing these things. He thinks he can bring in whoever he wants to and treat people however he wants. Now today I did hear him say for once that he was going to go into a red state. He was talking about New Orleans. He's keeping it consistent by going into the cities that have predominantly black populations, and this is where he wants to focus. And it's disgusting, it's sad, but these cities do need help, and I wish that he would stop using them as political pawns and do something to really help the cities. Because I know a lot of these cities need cars, they need officers, they need help to get people into housing. There's a lot of things that's going on, man, that they could do to really help these cities, man. But they're choosing to militarize the cities, guns everywhere with these guys holding guns. That's the road that they're choosing. And to me, I just think they're playing politics because this is not a long term answer to the problems. This is just a band aid. And all of us who know what's going on, we know that this is just playing politics. And they don't really care about these people of these cities. He doesn't care. Now, could the administration try the Insurrection Act? Yes, they can say the magic words, but the judge's opinion explains the standard. Not things are tense, not crime is high, but the kind of breakdown where civilian law enforcement can't operate.
Mm-hmm.
If you stretch that too far, courts can still block the implementation or narrow it. And Congress, which it won't do anything until we Democrats get some type power back. Congress is not going to do a thing. But if it ever chooses, they can look at tightening the guardrails. But right now, we know that won't happen with Congress being pretty much just bending over to whatever Trump says or do.
Yeah, you're right. But, Trump basically just wiped his booty with the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, are we headed for a federal versus state war? The answer? It's probably no, but, that's not how this all plays out. States have tools, lawsuits, injunctions, control of their own agencies,
Mm-hmm.
and public refusal to cooperate with federal overreach.
Yeah,
And that isn't backed by a valid law.
that's crazy. You would think that there would be some type guardrails in place, something in place to try to
Mm-hmm.
keep the government, the federal government, from trying to take over states. Now, I remember, I'm old enough to remember when Republicans cared about state rights. Those things used to be a big thing in the Republican Party, but they've pretty much lost any resemblance of the old Republican Party that we used to see. They have no morals when it comes to most of these things. People who used to stand for state rights and believe that the states should have their own policies and and ways of doing things has fell apart. So I don't understand what's going on with these people, and what happened to the backbones of Republicans. What happened, man? Because I remember that you guys used to dislike this. And I know that if it was a Democrat that was sending troops into Republican states, you would be losing your mind.
Hmm.
This would be called government overreach. You'll be pissed off. And it's kind of crazy that these people are just blowing it off. Whatever. So what we are headed for is a heavy legal and political brawl, man. Expect emergency filings, expect appeals, expect stays, expect the administration to try new legal theories and new labels for the same thing: protecting federal property. They use anti gang operations, they use immigration surges. The response has just been disgusting from the Trump administration.
It has been.
But the judge has swatted some of those arguments already. You can protect federal property, yes, but not by assigning troops to perform general police functions in a city.
Yep. And let's not forget our history here, because the Insurrection Act has been previously used before. President Eisenhower in Little Rock to enforce the school desegregation.
Mm-hmm.
George H.W. Bush used it in 1992 LA riots.
Yeah.
But those were exceptional crises with either state request or truly overwhelmed local capacity. Judge Breyer's point is that LA 2025 didn't meet that bar.
No, man, it I mean, if the people who are old enough to remember the riots of 92, hey man, that stuff was crazy. I was a little kid, but it was crazy. It was insane. And it was nowhere near what we saw in LA, who burned up a couple of driverless cars. What are those cars? The driverless cars?
The Waymos?
Waymo. There we go. My bad. The Waymos. So I mean, I think they burned up like 3 Waymos, waved a couple flags, and this guy sings the military. Like, man, you have to have it has to be a tipping point, and it's supposed to be when the governor asks for help.
Mm-hmm.
Blacks killing blacks is out of control. Especially, oh my God. What about whites killing little white kids? Is that out of control? We just saw another little kid get killed in gun violence from a white man. Is that out of control? Or do you only care about blacks? Make me understand that. Kerry Wood, that wasn't you. I'm sorry. Arian Wilson. You want to come on and say racist stuff? What are you doing about the white people saving little white kids getting shot in churches? You want to worry about blacks killing blacks? You don't think that the shootings are out of control? Huh? Do something about it, man. So the battlefield is the courtroom, not the streets. States will keep suing. The Ninth Circuit will weigh in again. The Supreme Court might be asked to decide how far a president can go in federalizing guard units and using active duty forces domestically without meeting the strict criteria.
Mm-hmm. But, what do we need to watch for next? We're going to watch the appeal clock. The ruling has an effective date to allow appeal. If the Ninth Circuit pauses it again, that's not a merits win for the White House. It just freezes things while they consider arguments. Meanwhile, the underlying finding, unlawful, stands in the district court.
Yeah, man. I don't understand what this guy, the King Trump, think he's doing. But watch for copycat deployments. If Chicago or Baltimore gets a similar play, local officials will run to federal courts with Breyer's ruling in hand and say, give us the same relief. Now, how fast those courts act will decide whether troops are on the streets or stuck at the staging areas. So, no, man, crime is going down. I know you guys love to talk about black on black crime. I know you love black people so much, and you love to talk about their crime so much. I know black on black crime. No matter how many times we say that white on white crime is 80% of people that kill white people are white. 81.3% if I wasn't mistaken. But black on black crime, I know. White suicide. We already talked about that the other day. But every day I got to have you people in my comment section talking about black on black crime and how horrible it is. You hate black people. Shouldn't you be happy? Why are you so worried about it? Goodness. Go ahead.
I mean, but other things
You
that
gotta
we're gonna watch include
twist.
language. If the White House suddenly starts saying Insurrection Act, that's a major escalation. It triggers different authorities and different risks, and it will be litigated instantly.
So watch the military chain of command. Governors control their guard in state status. Federalizing them without a valid legal basis is exactly what Breyer called out. Commanders will be reading these open opinions very, very closely. Now, no one is saying that I don't care about black on black crime. I just don't understand why conservatives talk about it every single day of their lives. We all know it's just racism. They don't really want to help the black community. They just want to fucking talk about it. And it's really sickening to me that these people sit around and act like they care when we all know this is all shit that y'all spew because you're racist. It just makes you feel better. But like I say all the time, if I just start spewing all the statistics from the white community, then I'm racist. And I'm being a racist and I'm being mean. But this is all they do to me. This is all they do to us when they come to our comment section is talk about black on black crime. We all know you don't care. So you can stop acting. Talk about something that you really care about. Because the Republicans have never put toward any policies that's tried to help the black community. It's all been about hurting, putting people in jail. They want to put more people in jail. So it's you, just because you mixed don't mean you ain't racist. It's black people that's racist, bro. Don't matter what your culture or what your heritage or ethnicity is. So it's normal. So go ahead.
What's the bottom line, though? The bottom line is that a federal judge, Charles R. Breyer, appointed by Bill Clinton, ruled that Trump's LA deployment broke the law. It's a landmark check on using the military as a domestic police.
Yeah, man, that's the part that's crazy, is that he's really trying to use the military. He's really trying to use the military as a way to police regular civilians. That is not why the police exist. Does it stop him cold? Not yet. But it does arm the states and cities and even the military leaders with legal cover to say no. The Constitution still has teeth if we use them. And we will keep calling out this bullshit. We'll keep hitting the hammer and hitting the nail on the nose and talking about these things, because man, it's really ridiculous, man. In a time where everybody thinks that the country is moving in a good direction, everything is crime's going down, But we got these people sitting around talking about black culture and black people and worried about what we're doing, man. Don't worry about it, bro. You've never worried about it any other time. You know? So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it the way it's been. Republicans have never cared. You've only used black people for violence and pointing out their violence for you can use it for political points or for you can use it for racist points and say that, hey, look, these guys, they're animals. Look. Now, with the statistics that we see on the books from other demographics, those don't matter. Only thing that matters is what black people do. And that goes against the whole entire black race all the time. So some of the key facts and sources, the ruling of federal judge held that Trump administration deployment of National Guard and Marines to Los Angeles amid immigration-related protests violated the Posse Act, which restricts using the military to enforce domestic law. The order blocks further unauthorized military use in California and sets an effective date to allow appeal. The judge was U.S. District Judge Charles R. Breyer from Northern District of California. He was appointed by Bill Clinton in 1997. He's now a senior judge. The court found that systemic orders pushing troops into law enforcement roles, e.g., crowd control, traffic, exceeded lawful authority under the act. The PDF order emphasizes there was no rebellion and that civilian law enforcement functioned. Appeal posture / prior stay, earlier relief in June was briefly granted, then stayed by the Ninth Circuit. Today's order likewise allows time for appeal, like I said. Threats to deploy elsewhere on September 2nd, Trump said he would send the guard / federal agents to Chicago and possibly other cities, drawing immediate pushback from local states and leaders. But we all know that Trump doesn't care and he'll do whatever he wants to. And, you know, King Trump, man. So is it, what is going on? Oh, man. So give us one moment here. Go ahead and run your stories down here.
Okay. Did you guys hear this week what happened with Rudy Giuliani?
Correct.
That too, but Giuliani, President Trump announced that that he planned to award Giuliani the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his loyalty, courage, and service, calling him a patriot.
Boo.
The announcement came despite Giuliani's ongoing legal troubles tied to the 2020 election efforts. Critics are questioning the timing and motivation behind the honor, while supporters are applauding Trump's move. What do you think?
Man, get the fuck out of here. Giuliani is a crook. They tried to steal the election. He lost in court, had to pay those people all that money because he was lying on those people, talking about they were cheating. Had to pay all that money, almost went bankrupt because he had to lose his house and everything because he's a big liar. And what Republicans do, just ignore it, act like it don't happen.
Yep, that's exactly
he
what
lost
they did.
in court, had to pay money. The dude's a crook. He was lying on these damn people. They just throw him to the side, act like Giuliani don't exist, and then they gonna get this dude a medal for lying and staying in Trump's corner. That's all it's for. Just disgusting stuff, man. From crooks, two criminals, one crook to another.
Yep.
And that's all they are, man. I don't get it, but you know, these are the people that the Republicans put in charge. A felon. They always talking about somebody else's violence, somebody else that's he's a crook. But Your guy was found guilty 34 times. And I mean, dog, it's disgusting. I want to hear your ideas for stopping the wild. Man, do you know that there's other cities that have way more violence than Chicago? I know you conservatives are so fucking stuck on Chicago. It's so crazy. We know y'all don't give a fuck about the place. Y'all just use it for political points and racism. How do you fix crime? Let's see. Throughout history, you give people opportunity, better schools, better housing. You give them grocery stores. These people live in food deserts. You want the communities to be better? Stop treating them like the bottom of fucking shoes. In every state, they give no money, nothing to these fucking cities that are struggling. They won't do nothing for infrastructure. They won't do nothing for schooling. You think these people are just going to start being good people just because? And they're broke as fuck? Economic issues are connected to crime.
They don't care.
That's the way it is. Criminals come from poor areas. You know, it's a lot of white collar crimes that people ignore all the goddamn time. But if we want to just strictly talk about the streets, since that's the thing that works so well, we're going to have to do something to invest in these communities, man. I know you guys don't want to do that. I know you don't give a fuck about these communities. But if they don't have opportunity, they're going to go out and they're going to commit crime. Just like in white areas throughout the country that are in bad areas, they do crime also when people are fucking poor. Crime is not far behind.
You're absolutely
Teachers
right.
are the highest paid. Dude, and you stupid ass people who live in poor areas do not have the highest paid teachers. Like, what kind of stupid shit is that to even say? You think the people who are in the areas with the poorest people in the state are getting the most money? You think that when the schools are going off of how much money the houses are making? I mean, come on, man. Your school goes off how much money your neighborhood is worth.
Name a single bad white neighborhood.
Oh my goodness, are you crazy? We got whole towns like Scranton, PA that are white, that are bad. Quit it. Come on, man. Don't come on here acting like white people are angels, dude. I know y'all live in this damn fantasy land, but didn't we just see a white kid shoot up 2 white kids? Like, I mean, how do y'all just ignore everything y'all do, but everything a black person do is on the whole entire race? Like, it's insane, man. Whew, man. So we got deportation on overdrive, ICE's budget, and the kids as at risk, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, ICE been going over budget, dude. All of y'all applauding, y'all, yay! But they're going over budget. It's after this one. I don't know how that even got in there. So we got a triple threat. ICE budget is about to blow up. They're already tripling it in 2025. Trump is threatening to send the guard to Chicago. We already know about that. And now, in the dead of night, he tried to deport unaccompanied Guatemalan kids until a judge stopped him.
That is not normal. It's not legal and is not acceptable. We thought that he was going after criminals. Instead, he's gunning for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Intimidation, lawlessness wrapped in a blanket of cruelty, if you ask me. That's all it is.
Yeah, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into some of this cruel stuff we have. So first, the ICE budget explosion. Kristi Noem is losing her mind. They're over budget, and it's ridiculous what they are doing.
You're right about that. In July, Congress passed a budget bill that gave ICE nearly a 3-fold increase over fiscal year 2024. That's billions of dollars in new funding.
We're talking brand new detention centers, including family immigration centers, hundreds of new enforcement officers, and expanded community arrest.
Yep, you're right. And the deportation industrial complex is no longer theoretical. It's here and it's roaring.
And with them having to pay back, I think it was 120 million with alligator Alcatraz that they have to
Mm-hmm.
pay back to the state for the money that was wasted, because this place cannot go forth because they've broken every rule in the book to get this alligator Alcatraz off the books.
Yep.
I mean, keep it up and running. And judge says no, you can't do this. Shut it down. Shut it
Mm-hmm.
down. Another waste of money. Another millions wasted. They
Millions.
crying and crying. They didn't want any money to go to poor countries. They didn't want any money to go to Ukraine. But these dudes wasting all the money
Mm-hmm.
going on golf trips, wasting with buildings. They're going over budget when it comes to ICE. Like, dog, I was riding in my car today. ICE needs you. Come work for ICE. They're giving like $30,000 fucking bonuses. Then they're paying them for every single person that they get out of the country and deport. It's crazy, man. And with the system flooded in weeks, corners will be cut, overcrowded facilities, medical neglect,
Mm-hmm.
mistaken arrests, and vital due process failures across the board have been implemented.
Yep. You're right. You're absolutely right. So now picture this. While kids are being targeted with mass deportation, Trump is staging military deployments just outside Chicago. National Guard vehicles and ICE agents are both positioning near Mexican Independence Day celebrations.
Yeah, Governor Pritzker, he warns they didn't ask for this. They weren't prepared for it, and it's intimidation. Pure and simple. Pure and simple.
Mhm. You're right. And once again, he's testing the constitutional boundaries, mixing military force with immigration enforcement, undermining civilian authority. But, that's just a recipe for disaster, if you ask me.
Yeah, man. The judge has blocked plenty of the things, many of the laws and executive orders that Trump has implemented and put in place have been blocked by judges. Now here's another one, as the judge blocks deportation of kids. This is the new headline. Judge Sparker L. Socanen, appointed by Biden, issued a temporary restraining order early Sunday, halting the deportation of 600 unaccompanied Guatemalan minors, some of whom were already on planes ready to go. They were trying to get them out quick on a Sunday.
That's crazy. On a Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Man. But the emergency order did come after lawyers filed late at night. The judge was literally awakened at 2:35 in the morning to stop these flights. And some of the kids were actually mid-air when their laptops dropped.
Wow, this is amazing, man. The judge, she extended the order to Guatemalan minors in U.S. custody, citing federal protections under laws like the Trafficking Victims Protecting Reauthorization Act. This includes due process rights and assessments of safety risk. Protections like these kids typically get, man, when they're going back to a country that could be dangerous for them.
Dangerous for the kids.
Hmm.
That's crazy. But government attorneys claimed that these were voluntary family reunifications requested by Guatemala.
Hmm. Yeah, right.
Right. But the court wasn't buying it. These kids were blindsided, locked in shelters, loaded on buses, and marched to the airport. Advocacy groups are saying that this violates the protections and puts them at real risk for harm.
Judge Sugnanen heard conflicting stories. The government said parents asked for them. They said that parents asked for them. That's what they said. These kids said they're terrified to go home. But the Trump administration isn't listening. The evidence so far doesn't align, she said. So she's hitting the pause button.
Yep. But you know, now these children are back with Office of Refugee Settlement in the U.S. Shelters safe for now. And their next hearing is set for September 10th. So we'll see what happens then.
Yeah, man. This administration has been, everybody hollers and screams, well, Obama, well, Biden, well, Obama, they got rid of this many people. The difference is that Trump is ducking due process. Then he's mislabeling criminals and people who are just normal people going about their day trying to go to work. So what happened to the promise that Trump only goes after criminal immigrants? What happened? Suddenly, he's going after little kids. It looks like it's feast or famine on these raids.
Yep.
As they go after workers, people that's fighting fires. They actually went after people who were fighting fires, trying to put out fires to save people houses. And here comes ICE to arrest the people that's trying to fight the fucking fires. Amazing stuff, man, that's going on with ICE right now.
Yep. And it's even more twisted. Acting midnight Labor Day weekend with no hearings, no notices, pushing flights like haste equals legitimacy. That's not due process. That's just ducking the process.
And that's basically what they've been doing. They've been throwing people out of the country, not listening to the judges, not listening to anything that goes on the Constitution, running people out of town, flying people to whatever country they want to, threatening people to toss them to countries they're not from. These are the type of things that the Trump administration are putting in place right now. This is authoritarian thuggery. This is what we're seeing from the highest in the nation. And you can't strip people of legal rights, man, overnight. Under the guise of reunification. Courts already said you need hearings, best interest analysis, legal representation. These are all things that the Trump administration is making sure that people do not have.
Yep.
They don't want you to have legal representation. They don't want you to have any due process. They just want to throw you out and put you on the streets because that's what they feel like doing.
Because it's not about law enforcement. It's about political theater. Kids used as a lever for fear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just plain evil.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
So the impact of this is crazy. The country is in the free fall. We're seeing tourism bottom out again. No one wants to come to America. We're seeing companies being hurt. We're seeing Las Vegas bottoming out. We see the tourist community being hurt. Jobs are being lost. Fruits and vegetables and the prices of produce is skyrocketing. The price of beef is skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
The price on all goods are skyrocketing because of tariffs. And you complained for 4 years about everything was Biden's fault. You said it was his fault because it was inflation. This guy immediately comes in. Now, Biden, what did he do? He implemented the Inflation Act to try to fight inflation. This guy comes in and puts in tariffs that raises inflation. Now, other countries are getting mad. They're getting pissed. They're sick of America. People were protesting that they want the Americans out of their country. Mexico said, get the gringos out. Stocks are doing fine. Yes, the rich people are doing fine. The rich people aren't a problem.
What produce? Bananas.
Man, are you kidding me? Bananas are skyrocketing.
They used to be like 39 cents.
Come
now
on,
they
man.
like damn near $1.
Man, come on, man.
For a
Yeah,
pound
you've been
of
to the
bananas.
goddamn grocery store. You see what's going on. Stop acting like you don't see. Y'all saw it when Biden was in fucking office. Now you want to act like you don't fucking see what's going on. Now you don't see that these fucking groceries are ridiculous when it's your boy in office. Stop it.
Right. Farms in Nebraska and Iowa can't sell their crops.
Man, they fucked up.
They
When
voted
they
for it
when they
though.
when they when they took away these deals that these places like Nebraska had, where they were selling crops to Japan and China,
USAID.
they were selling all these things, and America, exactly, USID was sending grain and sending all these things to places. All those things that they were selling to the government is now gone. They're hurting. The farmers are hurting. They sitting around here. You're sitting around talking about Chicago and black people this, but the people that you supposedly care about, the farmers, are being killed. The tariffs are killing them, killing them. While you sit around and talk about Chicago, Chicago, what's going on in fucking Nebraska and Iowa? As they are losing money daily and farms are going under because now they don't have workers. The tariffs are tearing their ass apart. We already know cities like Detroit and the ghetto in Chicago. Chicago is fine when it goes to the north side and the rich areas. But the areas in the hood, it's bad. They're suffering. You people know you don't want to do anything about that, or nor do you care.
Mhm.
So the farmers are getting hurt right now, and those are the people you would think that you guys care about. But you're too worried about the black neighborhood to worry about what's going on with the farmers. You're too worried about Chicago as the farmers get murked. They're losing their ass.
Right. They're obsessed with Chicago while 9 out of 10 of the top poorest states are
They
Republicans.
obsessed. Chicago is one of the richest states, and it's richer than a lot of fucking countries. Just like California, the fourth largest economy in the world, California. And they love talking about California while they're from the poorest states. People from Alabama laughing at California. People from the Southeast laughing at California when you got states that take more than they give. And California is a giver state, a donor state,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sure you MAGA states have money, because without them, you would be broke.
Super broke.
You would be broke. Your states are garbage. And all y'all do is take. Kentucky, you got whole cities and towns living off disability. Nobody working. But y'all sitting around talking about Chicago all the goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
People are ridiculous. So what now? That restraining order stays for at least 2 weeks. Lawyers will fight for permanent injunctions. But until then, thousands of kids remain vulnerable.
Yep.
Trump and them are hell-bent on getting rid of all kids, everybody. I saw also today a person who was in the middle of getting their green card, getting their shit taken care of, doing everything they're supposed to.
The right way.
The right way, as everybody always says. They were about to do everything right, and they were kicked out of the country. They're kicking out people who are doing it the right way, as they keep hollering and screaming, but they still keep kicking them out. Lady was about to show up to a court date, kicked her out the country. She's just doing what she's supposed to do to get a card. And the Trump administration,
paid thousands of dollars,
all the money she didn't pay. The people, Americans, don't understand this. It takes like 5 to 7 years for someone to become a citizen, sometimes more in some situations. So
make America native again. Okay, so that means you going back to Europe or Germany or Ireland or Scotland or wherever your peoples came from, right?
I mean, maybe they native. Go ahead though.
But what about Chicago? Will this ruling empower the governors and cities and rights groups? The answer is yes, but only if they use it. Otherwise, military and deportation forces will expand completely unchecked.
Nationwide, the message is clear. Due process can't be waived on holiday weekends. The Constitution doesn't fucking sleep. Democracy doesn't stop for scare tactics that the Trump administration are trying to implement. These are scary times, man, but the states and cities have to stand up and fight.
Yep. But, here's where we stand. ICE's budget is exploding. In fact,
Tripled.
it's tripled. Trump is militarizing cities, not crime, is the target. People
People.
are. And in the latest atrocity, he tried deporting unaccompanied kids. Justice hasn't stopped it at all.
So the Trumpers and the right wingers, they're okay if people's rights are being trampled on. Because believe it or not, even if you're not a citizen in the Constitution, you still have rights. Now, if rights don't matter in emergencies, on holiday weekends, then they matter fucking never. We've got to scream louder. We've got to push harder. This is our fight, man. And we're not going to let Trump just take over and do what the hell he wants to.
He's doing a lot of trying to take over because this week he announced that he plans to relocate U.S. Space Command from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama.
Boo.
The move revives a controversial plan initially proposed during Trump's first presidency term, but later paused under the Biden administration. Military and political leaders in Colorado have opposed the relocation, citing national security and logistical concerns. The White House has not yet confirmed whether or not the move has been finalized, but we all know how Trump does things. If he says he wants to do something, he's going to do it whenever he feels like getting around to it.
Skip the Section 8, go to the CDC walkout.
But, a major shakeup also happened this week because the center of the CDC had a mass walkout. Sources inside the agency cited internal chaos, low morale, and a growing frustration with leadership's decisions and restructuring efforts. This comes as the agency is still trying to rebuild public trust following the pandemic and overhaul its communications and operational structures. While officials have not yet confirmed the number of employees that were involved or the potential impact on the ongoing public health work that they're doing at the CDC.
Yeah, to say it for sure, it was thousands that have said they want him out. They want Robert Kennedy out of there right now. People are quitting they're just quitting by the boatloads. They're not trying to listen to a person who has no medical training at all. He doesn't know shit. And he's trying to tell people who are professionals for 35, 40 years what the fuck to do. And this dude lives off fucking internet bullshit. He's off the internet and living off fucking conspiracy theories. That's all. And we got professionals listening to this fucking dude who don't believe in vaccines, vaccinations, or anything. These people want polio to come back like it's fucking 1930. These people have let the internet just make them make the worst decisions ever. Like, no, he doesn't have any medical training.
None at all.
The fuck are you thinking? What medical training? Dude, no, he said it. He's not a medical professional out his own mouth.
And then puts another motherfucker in there.
He said,
Dr.
don't
Oz.
listen to me. I'm not a medical professional. But then goes on to say, don't listen to the fucking medical professionals.
So how does that work?
What the fuck we supposed to do? The vaccine was, man, dude, you don't know how flu work. You're an idiot. You're going off like, dog, come on, man. Everybody every year have to get flu vaccines to try to slow the flu down so it doesn't get so bad. They give you a strain of the flu to try to give you the antibodies to fight the flu off. No one said it's going to stop the flu forever. Like, man, you people, we can explain it to you a million times. You're going to believe what you want to because you just keep reading internet bullshit and running with it. I mean, we got to stop this mess, man. We're not even listening to science anymore. I mean, Florida today comes out. They say they're not doing any
they're
vaccinations.
Eliminating
man.
all vaccine mandates
vaccine
for children.
mandates. Now, when polio comes back in Florida and they have the measles and all the diseases that they're asking for because they're playing with something that has expanded our lives. Do you know how it was before we had vaccinations to fuck all these damn diseases? People were dying by the boatloads. Now we want to go back to those times. They were eating organic food, still dying. Oh, it's the food. It's the food that's killing us. Nah, man. Diseases come regardless if we're eating. Cancer was found thousands of years ago in people, and they had no choice but to eat nothing but organic. Like, man, we got to stop it, man. We think we know something because we done read some shit online, but we don't know shit. Leave it to the fucking professionals. This shit is crazy, man, what we have in charge right now.
Man.
It's
Somehow
insane.
They think Bill Gates made money off COVID.
Man, Bill Gates
Vaccines.
has promised to give up every dollar he has to the poor. Your homie trying to get $1 trillion.
Yep.
While dude is trying to do everything he can to help the less fortunate.
They said the blacks have destroyed the South African government, so Trump needs to go in and take over it.
Man, the fuck out of here. We've already tried colonization. That doesn't work.
At all.
They already had apartheid. They don't need another one. Fuck out of here with that racist shit. But we want to thank everyone, man, for kicking it with us for an hour. This is what we do on Wednesday. So if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. You don't always have to agree with what we're saying, but we can always have a discussion about things. Detroit Siggy, okay, you're racist. All right. So we can always have a discussion about things and talk about a way to fix problems. I'm not into just sitting around pointing the fingers. I'm into trying to find ways to fix things. The Republican Party just makes everybody feel like the world is going to end. You don't have to do that. The world is going to end. Everything's so horrible, so bad, so bad. Everything's bad. But it's usually not as bad as people try to make it. We're supposed to do what we can. Why are we, what truth hurts? What are we talking about? You just came on here to say some racist shit. We weren't even talking about fucking black run countries. Why are y'all always so racist? You just keep black people on your mind when there's a black penis in your brain all day, every day.
With black people.
Why are you so obsessed with us? Like, dog, I don't come to white comment sections like, oh, how did the white people make it from Ireland? Why did they come here as servants? Servitude. What was going on with them? Like, why were their neighborhoods bad? Like, we don't, why do y'all do this shit? You have nothing else better to do. It's so fucking stupid, man. But whatever, man. That's fine. Like I said, if you like what we do, man, and you like fighting these stupid races every day, hit the subscribe button. We're on here on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 11 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. We are Habari Entertainment. If you like it, you also can go to our website, habarientertainment.com, where we have plenty articles and news that we are updating and keep it going for every week. So thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Aisha, and everything, doing it both duties today. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Holla, holla.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching another episode of Habari Live. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on news, the podcast, and more. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to visit www.habarientertainment.com. See you next